going for my third deadlift, I just looked at her and I thought to myself, like, I need to pull this.
Agata and Amanda are right now neck and neck, and you really scrapped it out. The knees were knocking.
Because that was a grind, and I was holding on to that for a long time.
Ladies, the number 1 and number 2 at Sheffield. Sheffield is come and gone. And I don't think any of us got too much sleep, but we're going to get through this one. How did this feel leading into it? Karlina, you were saying it felt like the days were long. It might have felt a little bit different for you because of the pressure and expectation. I don't know. How did you feel leading into it?
On Friday, I was really excited and just like, we had all those media stuff going on, training and stuff. Mm-hmm. But Saturday just felt like I was just existing, just waiting for the day to pass to finally be able to compete. So it was going so slow. I was so bored all the time, just didn't know what to do with myself. Couldn't really focus on anything because I was thinking about lifting. So just just waiting for the day to pass.
Yeah, like talk about hanging out with somebody and trying to be present when you have that the next day. Yeah. Kind of sort of difficult. Yeah. Kind of difficult. Now, this is the second time at 69 kilos for you, Agata. And the first time was a big deal. You're working with Kedrick, getting in there. But at the second year go around, was it difficult? Was it easier? How was it?
I don't know. I feel like it was pretty much similar in terms of like hunger levels and stuff. But maybe I was just more used to the process this time around since I was doing it for the second time. So it just felt a little bit smoother. I finished cutting at a month out. I was already at like 69.8 in December. So I just started adding calories and ended up eating like 3,100 per day by the end of it. So energy levels were
3,100 a day. Oh my gosh!
And you had some hunger levels.
That's great. You must have such a high metabolism.
That's awesome.
It wasn't that bad.
You really are, you are so unique a person.
Yeah. I thought I was doing good getting back up to 2,100. I was like, I'm so good.
When Sheffield was over, and we'll jump back to the beginning, but she was walking down the street in shorts, rocking like a full pizza, eating. I'm like, and only Agata. And that's exactly how I picture Agata. And you had a beer in your hand and the meet and greet. I'm like, this is Agata. She's living up big time. So when you guys were at the venue, it's kind of like, it's weird because you guys are seasoned veterans. We're year 3 here at Sheffield, but we have newcomers to the mix. Like Russ, Perk, big name guys who've been in some big battles. But we had new people there, Megan Scanlon on the women's side. How was the vibe with you guys and all the other athletes in the warm-ups and in the weigh-ins? Did you guys notice because there were some newcomers? I'll throw it to you first, Karlina.
This year, half of us were newcomers this year. But I think like in the weigh-ins and the warm-up area, you don't really notice a lot of what's going around you. It was nice to like look across and see Megan warming up. That was really cool.
How about you, Agata? Now, kind of on your own in certain senses, there was a lot of talk of you and Amanda Lawrence. And I'm not sure, was this on your mind? Because it was definitely the talk around the hotel. It was conversation on the podcast. It was conversation on the commentary even. Agata and Amanda are right now neck and neck, and they're two weight classes apart.
Yeah, we definitely thought about it going into Sheffield. Our top end, like perfect day, 949, perfect attempts, we thought would be around 640, 645. So that's pretty close to Amanda.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't hit it. I didn't really perform on that level. But yeah, we were paying attention to what she was doing. And yeah, at some point, I was like 5 kilos ahead.
Yeah, that's right.
The deadlift, so felt good.
When you were in the warm-up room, and Amanda Lawrence herself had been hearing the podcast. I mean, you would have to be living under a rock to not have heard all of the hype. You know, again, we'll touch base on this a little later about the future, but possibly the biggest showdown in powerlifting history will be when Amanda Lawrence, who might be the most decorated powerlifter period in the classic era, and yourself, who's back-to-back Sheffield champ, and who knows in the future what, if you go to Worlds 69, etc. When you guys clash, that might be the biggest of the big. And so she's not, deaf to all this conversation. I think everybody's having these conversations. When you're in the warm-up room and she's finally there and you're both in the same warm-up room, although you're 2 weight classes apart, and although we're not there yet for that direct head-to-head, could you feel a little bit of competitiveness there?
We were not warming up close to each other. We were in the
opposite
parts of the warm-up room, so didn't really get a lot of interaction there. So yeah, but going for my third deadlift, I just looked at her and I thought to myself, I need to pull this. I want to pull the same as her, literally get close to her total. And
I think I heard her saying, when she loaded up that weight, that was no coincidence. I'm like, I don't think it was either. It is what it is. This is sports after all. Obviously, it's the nature of it to be competitive. Let's walk through squats then. Karlina, how was your squat session? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, look, it was pretty good. It wasn't exactly what we wanted, but I think given where we've come from the last competition at Worlds, it was definitely, what I know that I'm capable of. So it felt good. My second was 231 and I fell forward. I've got quite sore calves today because I was squatting on my toes for that one. And I think that sort of just emptied my tank for that 236. But look, pretty happy with that.
And how's the crowd when you're out there?
Oh, insane. I feel like it just gets louder and louder every year. I don't know if they can measure that somehow, but it felt, really insane.
It's going to be crazy so the next Sheffield is going to be the same venue. And that'll be, I think, January. I have to double check here. And then later on in November, same year, 2026, will be another Sheffield in a different venue.
Oh, so that's 2026 is when it's in the in 1 year.
Hopefully I'm not breaking news. I'm not supposed to.
No, I know it is. But
This is rumored.
Yeah.
This is rumored. This is just me rumoring. And but eventually we'll end up bigger and bigger venue, and just like anything, everything grows, new added-ons, possible features. It's exciting. Agata, how about your squats? How did that go for you?
it was actually surprising because that was probably the strongest my squats have ever felt in comp. That 2-ton was really comfortable. I think I could have gotten to 12.5. Could probably it would be a 50-50. Maybe I would have grinded it, maybe I would have failed. So 210 was a great goal, but it moved really well, and that was surprising because squats didn't feel that good in prep. There were some days where it felt better, a lot of days it just felt really off and really hard. So I was not expecting to end up this strong on squats.
And how about you? What was your impression of the crowd? Was it just like you liked it? Did you shut off? Do you shut off when you go out there, or do you take in the crowd and it amps you up?
I actually realized going for my first deadlift that I completely did not hear the crowd this year, not because they were quiet, but for some reason I just didn't really notice it. I don't know. Last year I could hear all the screams and really soak that in, but I don't know, just kind of didn't notice it this year.
Squats went well. And are you guys at this point paying attention to the other lifters and seeing what's going on, or are you just focusing on the task at hand?
I was getting a lot of feedback this time from my coach, whereas I usually wouldn't get a lot of feedback about where people were. So I was via him paying more attention than usual. It turned out to be a bloodbath for everyone except Agata and slightly myself. And so it was just, he just kept feeding back to me, you know, there were these misses, and so we've got to show up. And so that was the goal, show up.
And when you miss, did you get, because you've been around the block, and some people, if you're at a massive event like this and you miss, it might rattle them. Oh my God, we're not to plan. We're not the script. What does this mean? Now, obviously we know how it ended up for you, but at that point in time, what are you telling yourself? Were you thinking, I got a shot at podium, or, oh my gosh, we're on plan, we're off plan? What were your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, well, I mean, my coach had told me that we still have a chance at podium, and you know, but I'd literally have to make all my lifts, and the decisions that he made after that just were perfect, and it ended up where we were in the end. So, no, after squats, I was feeling extremely positive. I was feeling very, very happy.
How about yourself, Agata? Are you paying attention to the other lifters at this point?
Yeah, I always do.
Yeah.
We always just stand with my coach and analyze all the other lifters' attempts. And but to be honest, when people started missing, we kind of knew that there wasn't really anyone who could get close. Going into deadlifts especially, it was just clear that, just too many people missed too many attempts.
Was that a surprise to you guys, the amount of misses?
Yeah, honestly, last year was much better on the women's side. I don't know what happened this year. I feel like the first Sheffield, a lot of people missed attempts because they were too ambitious. And it felt like people just kind of learned their lesson last year and started taking better attempt selection, but it just kind of got screwed again this year.
How did bench press, maybe I'll throw it to Agata first if we're talking about bench press. How did bench press feel for you, Agata?
So going off squats, I thought I would have an amazing day because squats felt so strong, but just didn't feel the same on bench. I don't know, something just fell off. Maybe it's because of the pad on this like older Ilico, because I train on a bench that has a softer pad at my gym, because it's more similar to the new Ilico model, so maybe that's just why. But yeah, something felt off on bench, and I didn't hit the numbers that we wanted, because like obviously I've hit 160 at girl power, and we were kind of hoping to at least repeat that or add another 1 or 2 kilos, and I ended up hitting a pretty heavy 158, so just didn't feel that great.
How about you, Karlina?
The goal was like 132, but the way that it was looking, it didn't look like we would have to do that, and so it was very much like take a low risk approach to it. Brought the bench down and got all 3. They all felt hard, so they were appropriate numbers. No PB on there, but I feel like this whole competition for me has just been about bringing all my best lifts to the same one competition so far, and that worked out for me.
Let's talk about the deadlifts. Going into the deadlifts, did you realize the position you might end up in? How were you feeling come the deadlifts?
Yeah, 100%. Like, we knew that getting all 3 deadlifts getting the second deadlift meant the world record, and getting the third deadlift meant a podium spot, second or third. And so I was feeling really happy. I was feeling really positive, enjoying myself. Just a lot of like positive thoughts going, trying to convince my body that it's not sore and tired. And it worked for as long as I needed it to work. And yeah, I was just in a really good spot. Yeah.
In that last deadlift, you know, I said on the commentary, I don't know if either of you guys had a chance to see that yet, but you are willing to fight for your attempts.
Oh, look at the heart on Karlina. Wow. Talk about a fight to hit that third deadlift. 3 white lights. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen.
and you really scrapped it out. The knees were knocking, the whole nine. You unloaded and left it all on the platform. How satisfying was it? How satisfying was that deadlift session altogether?
Yeah, it was really satisfying. Like it was so hard, and it was really just that thought of podium that really got me to hold on to that 255, because that was a grind, and I was holding on to that for a long time. But yeah, no, I was just feeling so good, and I think that just is a testament to, if you're enjoying yourself, your lifting is good.
Would you rank this career-wise? Was that like up there as number one? Top 3, top 5. What do you think for you?
Top 2 for sure.
Okay.
Top 2 for sure. My partner was here this year. It just, so many things happened to make this the perfect thing.
Yeah. And you were actually saying people were here from New Zealand, not friends, family, or anyone connected to you. They were just here. And for anyone listening or watching, New Zealand's not exactly a short trip. That's kind of cool that we're there in powerlifting.
Crazy cool. And it was just so awesome to see them. They came down to the VIP, the meet and greet, and it was just so nice to see people from home.
Yeah.
The fact that they came all that way just to watch us.
Agata, so let's talk about deadlifts for yourself. We talked a little bit before we started recording, but what was your plan going in, and did your plan change as deadlifts unfolded?
The plan was obviously to secure the win. So we were like, okay, so let's take the world record on the first attempt, then load something to secure the win, and then if we're secure and no one's like coming close, we can just load something crazy for the third one, just have fun with it. So coming off the platform after my third pull, I was just really upset. Like, I feel like you could tell that I was mad and not happy at all. But looking back at it now, 260 moved like a proper second attempt. It was not the heaviest grind of my life, so I feel like I probably could have hit a deadlift PB, maybe 265. I don't know what the top end would have been, but yeah, we just got off, and yeah, my coach was like, okay, let's just load it. We're already secure on the first place, so we can just full send it, YOLO, third pull, just go for it. Yeah.
And why that particular weight?
Because we just wanted to hit over the 84 kilo deadlift world record.
So as you look back now, when you take it all in, and I know it's only been a day, or not even, but how do you feel now when you think about the fact you are a repeat Sheffield champion?
I mean, I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same as last year for some reason. I don't know if it's because of the level was a little bit lower this year, and because of how many people missed, and it just, I don't know, it didn't feel earned like last year.
Let's take a look at, well, before we talk about the future, actually, let me ask you guys your impression about some of the other performances at Sheffield.
I'm happy that a super got onto the podium. I was really happy that, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And a middle, would I be a heavyweight? Yeah, at Worlds I'll be a heavyweight. So, I've always wanted to see some of the heavier classes get onto the podium. So that was a big plus for me.
How about yourself, Agata? Any surprises or any stand-up performances for you?
Yeah, so we actually recorded a little preview show with some of my friends from Poland and my coach and his wife. So,
oh, nice. In Polish?
Yeah, our predictions were totally off.
Now you know how it feels.
Yeah, this entire competition was just so unpredictable, and that's why we love Sheffield, right? It's just so unpredictable. And just looking at the scoreboard throughout the day, like at some point Tiffany was predicted for second, and we were so surprised because we all put her pretty low in our rankings, so it's just so crazy. So yeah, apart from first place in men and women, everything else was just a total surprise.
Agata, we talked about weight classes. I thought we had a plan, but you were talking crazy last night. So, what does the future look like?
Yeah, so I guess we're not gonna be able to keep that one a secret then.
Oh, did you want to keep it a secret?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay, you don't have to say it. We can leave it at that, but
I don't know if it even will be possible because so the plan was to like go down to around 65 kilos for the World Games. At first that was the goal, and then I just started like talking to some people and thinking about it more, and I was like, okay, if I'm gonna cut down to 65, I might just as well try going down to 63 just to get the world records. And I found the perfect meet to do it at. It's Euro Muscle Show. It's in July between Worlds and the World Games. It's a GLP based comp, so if I don't make weight, nothing happens. I can still compete. It's not a high stakes meet because it's a junior only competition, so really nothing to lose and possibly a lot to gain. But I've learned last night that it's not for certain that IPF will be there this year. So I don't know if it will be possible, but if the competition happens, I'm gonna try to cut down to the 63 for it.
But would you so my concern off the top would be, would you lose muscle mass? Because if the overall goal, you could see a pathway where you could potentially make another go around back to Sheffield. Now that the 69 kilo world record is higher than the 76, you'd be crazy not to gain weight and shoot for a lower target like that. I mean, that's obvious math.
Going down to the 63s doesn't change the plan for the next year, so I'm still gonna go up next year.
But would it, here's my concern would be is, and I'm like your side manager at this point, but, and I got to talk to you about the earnings. I just got to wet my beak and take 10%.
You're going to take care of the taxes then.
I
can hire you.
I'll talk to Delaney Wallace. I got a whole crew here. But so my concern would be if you lose muscle mass to make 63, and then while trying to go back up, it could impact your performance because muscle mass, like you're a natural athlete, and when you lose it, it takes a long time to gain muscle mass as a natural athlete.
Kedrick can't promise me anything, but we haven't really talked in depth about it, but we've briefly talked about it, and he said that yeah, we can try to do this, but we'll just write out the plan, and we'll have some signs that if certain things happen, we're gonna stop cutting. I can just pretty much stop the cut at whatever point I want, because I don't have to sign up for a certain weight class for that meet again. Right. So if anything goes wrong, we can just stop doing that. So there's really not anything to lose, and I think Kedrick is a really smart guy, and he knows when to stop, and we're just gonna be really open about it, clear with the communication. So I feel like
yeah, I mean, Kedrick's like phenomenal at what he does. You're in good hands for sure. Is it to make 69? Do you do a big water cut?
No.
Because you were saying you're basically 69-ish already, right?
Yeah, I actually woke up at 69.2 the day before. So
if you three-peat Sheffield, and then you target 84 for your third weight class, which no one else has also ever done. So no one has ever done three-peat and may never. And no one has ever done 3 weight classes and may never. And not only that, the end boss for you would be Amanda Lawrence, whom up to this point, everybody says is the GOAT with the most decorated resume in powerlifting history.
Let's go, baby! Let's go!
Because she's been champion undefeated since 2019. And, oh, by the way, you'd be what, 24? I mean, do you win the game at 24? So that's still the plan there.
Yep.
Karlina, how about yourself? You had said previously you see yourself as a lifetime 76.
Well, actually, last night we spoke about it, and I'm moving to Poland, and I'm just going to live with Agata.
And
I'm going to be a full-time powerlifter.
SBD 6 days a week. 6 days a week. Right.
No. But yeah, definitely like 76. Look, I think I made this plan to go up to 84 thinking I would like win a second world title, close that chapter, move on to 84s. But that didn't happen. So I'm not moving on. I'm sticking with 76 this year. Me and my coach have made like adjustments and reflected, and the Sheffield prep was the first sort of run of this program, and I think it's really exciting to see how well that was working. I'm 76 at Worlds, 76 at World Games. I want to push that world record. I want to come back to Sheffield. We just keep going.
Yeah. I mean, old rivals of yours, Jessica Bittner's gone. Agata's obviously, she's got ambitions to jump around and like, different pathways. And like, as a fan, it's nice to have a mainstay where it's like, I'm sticking, don't worry. I'm sticking. Whoever wants to come, it's all good. We'll have our showdowns. If someone else emerges, that's fine. We'll have our showdowns, but count on me. I'll be here 76.
Yeah. I mean, Agata's insane. Not like you are insane, but
Wow.
but actually you have to be a little bit insane to think about cutting to
6
63.
SPD days a week as well, right? Though, but anyways.
But I think it just sort of shows us, the combination of like a really talented phenom who is able to make the sport their life, and the outcome of that is Agata and the things that she's been able to do. And what it does is just show us, what we could do if we give a little bit more time, if we give a little bit more training sessions. The possibilities are endless. And so I'm grateful for these people that are pushing barriers, because it raises the rest of us up and it shows us what's possible. And so I'm not catching myself thinking that what Agata's doing is impossible for the rest of us to do, because if she can, then it's like, why can't we?
And Agata Sitko, another phenomenal performance. When Sheffield was first conceived, not many thought we'd see back-to-back champions. In the third year, we're already here.
There is only one Agata Sitko.